Our learning objective today, we will write the rule in words. You might want to write this down because this is not on that note sheet that I provided for you. And the algebraic representation to describe these translations. And then we'll also learn the properties of translations that affect their congruence and orientation of figures. So, what happens when we translate a figure? That's what this says. What happens to the original figure when we translate it? So we're going to write, this is what you need to know. Rule in words and algebraic representation and properties that affect congruence and orientation. All right, so let's look at, first we're going to look at properties. Then we're going to go to rules, and we're going to translate figures. So a congruent figure, corresponding sides are congruent. That means they're the same length. Corresponding angles are congruent. That means that they are the same angle measure. And so congruent figures are the same size and same shape. And you have that on your note sheet. These are the properties. The sides that were parallel in the pre-image. The pre-image is the image that you start off with. Remain parallel in the image. The image is what you translated to. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. So, when you see both figures, if they've been translated, if there were parallel sides in the first shape, there's still parallel sides in the second shape. And that is, we call it, preserves parallelism. Okay, so that's what we call it. Translations preserve the size and, I should say, you need to add this, shape of a figure, as well as orientation. And we're going to talk about physical and letter orientation. Physical and letter orientation. So it preserves, it's the same size, same shape, same physical orientation. So remember, if I just slide it, the physical orientation is the same. And then letter orientation is the same. If this is A, B, C, D, when I move it, still A, B, C, D. A translation produces a figure that is congruent to the original figure, so same size, same shape, and the measures of the corresponding angles are the same. So if there's a 90-degree angle in the first one, there's a 90-degree angle in the second one, and then the length of the corresponding sides are the same, okay? Because the size is not changing. All right, so a transformation, remember, all of these things that we're going to do are transformations. They just move a shape so it's in a different position, but still has the same size, area, angles, and line length. And then the pre-image is your original shape. So do you have this one? Yes? So the first shape that you see, the one with just the letters, that's called the pre-image. So this is the pre-image here. So think of pre, before. So this is what you start off with before you translate. And then the image is the shape after the transformation, labeled with a little apostrophe, and you call that a prime. After the name, the point, it would be like A prime. And then, so this would be your image. And I don't know if you can see them a little more clearly. I know the figure is real small in your note sheet, but it actually says H prime, D prime right here. And then this would be what? I prime, and what's this? Y prime. So when you translate a figure, you put the little hyphen mark, or the apostrophe mark, because you need to know which is the one you started off with, which is where the figure you're going to. Alright, so you learned that a function is a rule that assigns exactly one output to each input. A transformation is a function that describes a change in the position, size, or shape of a figure. The input of a transformation is the pre-image, and the output is the image. And then a translation is a transformation that slides a figure along a straight line. Do you have this one? No? You want to put somewhere on there on your sheet, translation is a slide. Okay, that's how you can kind of tell that it's a translation. Did it just slide down a line? I'll show you what that looks like when we get there. All right, orientation, there's two types of orientation, physical and letter. When you're checking orientation, I always start with the letter orientation. So you just pick a letter, U, and you go clockwise around the figure, U-H-A-P. And then on the image, you start with the same letter. Did it go in the same order? U-P-A-H. No. So the orientation changed. Okay, so that's how you can look. There's two types, physical and letter orientation. So this letter orientation changed. All right, we already talked about, okay. So a translation just slides. So what that means is if I connect this point to this point with a line, that figure, it just slid up. And each, oh, that's bad. That's really bad. Sometimes it's hard to draw these lines. Especially when you're off to the side. Each, letter, the same letter, you can draw a line from, H to H. Oh, don't move. H to H, D to D. Oh, that's really off. Look at how bad. Okay, there. And if you do them right, it's hard to do them on this. The lines will be parallel because all you did was slide that figure up a line. Okay, so it didn't change. So if you just take a look at one line, you just slid it up. It didn't change at all. The letter orientation will be the same. The physical orientation will be the same. It's just going. Now, what you do is you take a letter on the pre-image and you count. You're going to do left or right first, and then up or down. It's like an ordered pair. Left or right is what? The x-axis. Up and down is the y-axis. So you're just going to count. So you just go from I to I prime. Which direction are you going to go? Left. So you go 1, 2, 3 units left, and then 1 unit up. Okay? And that this is the rule of words. Always, the rule of words, always, you start with the transformation name. Okay, this is a translation. 3 units left, 1 unit up. You have to tell me units also. Okay, if you put 1 unit up and 3 units left, I don't mark it wrong, but I don't recommend it. Okay, so that is the rule in words. Now, algebraic rule. So you don't have this one. Do you have this one on your, no? On the next page? No. Okay, you might want to, no, let's see. Just write down the algebraic rule under the bottom right slide. So write this one down. Rule in words. And write that one down. Even though you don't have these figures. There. So always have the transformation name, and then the direction it goes on the x-axis and then on the y-axis. And always you start with your pre-image and go to your image. Then we're going to put the algebraic rule. Okay, the algebraic rule starts x, y, and then you have an arrow, and that's pronounced becomes. So xy becomes, and then you're going to put x, and what are you doing to the x? When you go to the left on the x-axis, are you adding or subtracting? Subtracting, so you're going to go x minus 3, and then when you go up on the y, are you adding or subtracting? So y plus 1. That's the algebraic rule. Question? Just for this one, it starts the same. This is always the same for every algebraic rule, no matter what transformation we're doing in here, in this class. And then these will change. Okay, yes? Well, we're going to start writing it ourselves. And then when we draw it, I got to give you something. I got to give you a rule. Okay? All right, so let me show you what that means. This ordered pair on I is what? 1, 2, 3, 0. Do you agree? Okay. If I subtract 3 from 3, so if this is 3, 0, 3 minus 3 is what? 0. And what's 0 plus 1? This should be my new order pair of I prime. Is this 0, 1? So that's what your algebraic rule is telling you. It's telling you for an ordered pair on your pre-image, subtract 3 from the x's, add 1 to the y's. So, and it can go for anyone, because this is 1, 2, 3 to the left, 1 up to get to the next one. 1, 2, 3 to the left, 1 up. They're all the same. So let's see. D is what? 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, negative 4. So my x is 2. What if I subtract 3? What am I going to get? Okay, so negative 1. And negative 4 plus 1 is what? Negative 3. Okay, let's see. Is this negative 1, negative 3? Yeah, negative 1, 1, 2, 3, negative 3. So see how I get to that next ordered pair on the image? That's what this is telling you. All right, so let's try some out. Okay, you have this one on the next page. So we're going to write both rules. So the first thing you look, okay, this is our first transformation. They're all going to be translations, okay? But as we go forward, when you look and you have to write a rule, it's not, you know, you have to look at the actual shape. But see how it just slid up? It stayed the same physical orientation. So you can say it's a translation. So you would write translation. And then we're going to do the XY first. So you pick a point on the pre-image, which is the one without the prime marks. So we'll pick D. Which direction are we going? Left. How many units? How many? 4 units. So you would say 4 units left. And then 1 unit up. And ideally you would want these on the same line, but I ran out of room. Now you can say up 1 unit, I'm fine. You know, left 4 units, but just don't say left 4, up 1. I don't know what that is. I mean, 1 mile, 1 yard, what? 1 unit. Okay? So that is the rule in words. Then you just want to just test it. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, up 1. Yeah, put a P prime there. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, up 1. You always, especially on a test or quiz, test all your points. Make sure they have the same rule. And then let's write the algebraic. It always starts with X, Y, and then your arrow pronounced becomes. So what did I do to the X? Subtract 4. And what did I do to the Y? Add 1. On a test or quiz, you can test it. You can take a point, L, and you have what? 1, 3. 1, 3. 1 minus 4. Negative 3. 3 plus 1. 4. And then go to L prime. Is that negative 3, 4? Yes. Okay? So that's your check to make sure that you're correct. Not too bad, right? All right. You want to try that one on your own? So write the rule in words, and then don't forget, go to the image, or the pre-image to the image. Okay, when you're done, compare with your shoulder partner. See how you guys did. All right. So, ready? Remember, you're starting with the pre-image. Which one's the pre-image? The one on the left. This is where I start. So, it just slid down and over. So, you would say, translation, and then I'm going to go left, right first. So, I'm going to go to the right. How many units? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 units right, or right 6 units. 6 units right. And how many down? 1 unit down. And then my algebraic, XY becomes X, and then 6 right. On the right of your, going to the right on the number line, you're going what? Add plus 6. And then 1 unit down, what are you doing? subtracting 1. Yes. Oh, what point? Like, say, G? No, because I can count 6 right, 1 down. I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 1 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 down. They're all the same. Okay, it doesn't matter which, and then you can put a Y prime right here. It doesn't matter which ordered pair. And after you do one, you would want to verify with another one just to make sure that you counted right, that it is a translation. Okay? All right, let's try another one. I want to see what you guys put. All right, translation. Now, I went from G to G prime. What did I do? Okay, so I'm going to the right 2. So 2 units right. Did I go up or down? Is that the same for all the points? Yes. So 2 units right. You stop there. You don't have to say 0 units down or up or whatever. Just 2 units right. And then so XY becomes, and then what did I do to the X? Add 2. What did I do to the Y? So just leave it Y. Okay, you don't have to put plus 0, because that's just Y. And so let's look at that. 1, 2, 3, negative 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so if I add 2 to 3, what do I get? Negative 1, and do nothing, I leave it as a 3. So is this negative 1, 3? Yes. Okay, so you just leave the Y by itself. Don't put plus 0. Okay, not too bad, right? All right, so let's go ahead and do this one. So what do you have for your rule, Noah? So I'm going to tell you that is an incorrect rule. Does anybody know why that's incorrect? Nicholas? Joseph? You didn't state it was a translation. You have to tell me translation. 1 unit left, 4 units up. All right, so have to tell me. And then this would be your algebraic rule. So this is a plus 4. Forgot there was an error on that key. Gotta fix that. All right, any questions on that one? And remember, always start with the letter and go to the letter prime. How did you get there? All right, this one, what do you have? Michael. All right, so translation, 5 units right, 3 units down, that is correct. And the algebraic rule, what do you have, Michael? Yes. Where is it? There it is. So, how many of you got that right? Good. So, translations, I knew you could handle both in one day. So, we're going to move on real quick. This one is, last one, Savannah. And then your, yes. So the x is left alone and the y plus 1. Okay, any questions on these two? On these, yes. Okay, so your check, you take an ordered pair on your pre-image. Doesn't matter what ordered pair you want to pick. Maybe you pick this one. So you take your ordered pair and you say this is 1, 2, 3, 0. And then you do what this says. Leave the x alone, 3, and then what is this? Add 1, so 1. This was for k, this would be for k prime. So is k prime at 3, 1? Yes. That's your check. Okay? Alright. So now we're going to draw them. And so you're just going to move each point given the rule. And then label it with the letter prime. Okay, that's all you're going to do. So on the next page, you should have this one. Do you have this one? All right. So here, now the rule, you need to write the rule on the top. Obviously, I don't give you the rules because I don't want you to go ahead. So write this algebraic rule on the top of that graph. Yeah, where it says rule. Now, when you're given the rule, I want you to, we're going to translate it, and then we're going to write the other rule, whichever one they don't give us. So what is this telling us? -1. Which direction am I going to go? Left. And then plus is what? Up. So I just take each point, I'm going to go left 1, up 1, plot a point, and label it Q prime. And then I do it to each point. I take the A. I go left 1, up 1, A prime. And then the L. Left 1, up 1, L prime. And then with your straight edge, you're going to connect the dots. And it should be the same shape. This, you know, like, you see how the Q is over here on the top right? The Q should still be on the top right. The L is on the bottom. The L prime is on the bottom. It should still be the same physical orientation. And then we're going to write the other rule in words. So this is a translation. And we're going to go 1 unit left. And what? 1 unit up. You have to write the word unit? Yes. You have to write the word translation? Yes. So on your homework, even if it doesn't ask, you need to write the rule, okay, of the other one that they don't give you. So if they give you the rule in words, you write algebraic. If they give you algebraic, you write the rule in words. All right. Try this one out. There's your rule. So we're going to go right 1, and then up 5. And we're going to label it J prime. Right 1, up 5, D prime. Right 1, up 5. What is that? I prime. Right 1, up 5. And that is R prime. And on a translation, if you have a horizontal or vertical side, you should still have a horizontal or vertical side. Okay, if this side all of a sudden becomes angled, you didn't translate it right. It's just a slide. Alright, so this one, write the rule right here. Now they didn't graph the figure. You got to graph the figure first, then translate it. So these are the ordered pairs for the pre-image. So this should be what your pre-image looks like. Oh, and we forgot to write our rule on the other one. Right. So this is which direction? Right and up. So you just go 2 right, 5 up. And then that would be I prime. 2 right, 5 up. C prime, 2 right, 5 up. C prime, and then connect your point. Alright, and then your rule in words is translation, what? Yeah, 2 units, right? 5 units up. Alright. And then this one is translation. What? 1 unit, right? 5 units up. In the algebraic rule, you do not have to tell me translation before, only the rule in words. Okay, let's go to this one real quick. So on the back, if we have time, we'll go back to the other one. Okay, so this figure shows your image after we translated it, 4 units right and 7 units up. So we translated the image to get here, or the pre-image. We translated a pre-image that was somewhere on here, and we got this image. So how can I graph the pre-image? Think to yourself, how can I graph the pre-image? Just think. Talk it over with your shoulder partner. All right. What did you come up with? Aliana? Yes, you're going to do the opposite. So instead of 4 units right, you're going to go left. And then 7 units up, you would go down, and that will get you to the pre-image. So go ahead and graph that one. 4 units left, 7 units down, and when you label it with just the letters, H-I-J. No, we're just going to graph it. Oh, you mean on your paper? I would write the translation. Well, they give it to you in words, so. Question? The algebraic rule would always be on your rule that is given from the pre-image to the image. So that's the rule from the pre-image to the image. Okay, so you should have it looking like that. And then if you wrote the algebraic, it would be x plus 4 y plus 7. Okay, so from your pre-image, you would go 4 to the right, 7 up. And that would be your check. Just check all your points. Are they 4 to the right, 7 up? Yes. When you write algebraically, no, you don't have to put the word translation, only in the rule and words. All right, the next one, so write this rule down on top of these ordered pairs. So no graphing on these. This is on the back. What are we going to do? We're just going to subtract 2 and subtract 5, because these are the ordered pairs of your pre-image. So I want the ordered pairs of our image. So subtract 2, subtract 5. Subtract 2, subtract 5. And then label them. Q prime, -3 plus -2 is -5. 1 minus 5, -4. V prime, this is -5, 0. And W prime, writing this down. Everyone should be writing this down. -3, -2. Okay, so if you're not asked to graph, you just have to find the new coordinates of the vertices, then that's what you do. Yes, question? All right. Okay, do that one. Write down the rule. Figure out your new coordinates. Record.